Welcome to the BAM Blog Breakdown, where Brian Kaiser, Aaron Zambrano, we'll tell you about that in a minute, and Mike Calder will break down expert blogs so you can better understand and apply the information to your business and life for real results. Before we start, we all urge you to go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe to our channel there. This will do two things. It will allow you to review this and other blogs that we've broken down in a cool, fun, energetic way, and it will help you know each time we have a new episode. I mean, come on. Trying to keep up with all the different feeds that you have is impossible. Google made it easy. Thank you, YouTube. Just head over, subscribe, and it's all yours, notifications, and you can enjoy every episode of the BAM Blog Breakdown. I am your humbled co-host, Mike Calder. I'm here with my BAM partners, Brian Kaiser and Aaron Zambrano. Brian, how are you today?
Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored on a Monday. I'm excited about this blog. I'm excited that we brought on Mr. Aaron Zambrano, and we'll let him tell about that in a minute. And yeah, I think we've got some exciting stuff here today for everyone watching and listening to the BAM.
Excellent. Aaron, how are you? And why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about who you are?
Well, first, I am fantastic. Very blessed, like Brian. But I am a fitness expert. I've trained some of the top bikini models and fitness models in the entire world, and have been in the business for over a decade and a half. And I just continue to make strides to improve people's lives through health, through exercise and nutrition. So that pretty much sums it up. I can go on, but we want to keep it short, right?
That's right. So, Brian, Aaron, welcome. Our show today is Get Out, Stay Out of Your Comfort Zone. Before we start, you have to promise me, listeners, watchers, you have to promise me you'll get over and read this post. Chuck reels you in with his stories in this post big time. But don't just get over and read it. As you're reading the post, put yourself into his shoes as he tells these two stories and notice. Really try to put yourself in the shoes. Like, really do that. And notice how you react internally, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Because here's what happened for me. No flipping way. I'm dead serious. That is what came to mind. I'm like, no way. All right, so let me get into the summary. You'll understand a little bit more. All I can say, like I said, is no way. Literally, as I was reading Chuck's first story, I was saying no way. But then when I read the second story, I'm like, definitely no way. But then I stopped and I said, why not? Why no way? See, it was when I started to ask the question, why not, is when I really started to get the point of Chuck's story. And then it didn't seem so bad. The second story, the first story didn't seem so bad when the second story was told. So now that I've confused you completely, let me explain. Chuck tells two very short yet detailed stories which you can literally picture yourself in these situations. And I guarantee you, as you read them, you will have some kind of internal emotional response, just like I did with my no way. The stories are meant to illustrate that some things don't seem so bad compared to others, right? In the first story, he tells a little bit about a business trip to an airport that goes completely wrong, and he has to leave and go home. He was planning on going and meeting a guy. It was a very last-minute thing. And we all know how big the expense is with last-minute travel. He plans all this stuff only to have it canceled, which seemed like the end of the world in my eyes in many ways. And then he told the second story of hours and hours on airplanes, beat-up old Jeeps with 9 people in them, and dirt bikes in the dark. And you have to read the story to get you have to get over the post to get the full effect of the stories. But when you start thinking about that second story, the first story doesn't seem so bad. So kind of basic, right? Oh, well, of course, Mike, if one thing's worse than another, the other's not going to seem so bad. Yeah, I agree. It was for me too. So that's why I read it again. It takes me a while to get some of this stuff. That's when the get out of your comfort zone and stay out of your comfort zone came alive for me. I'm always telling people to enjoy the journey, right? You got to enjoy the journey. Chuck reminds us in this post that building a business and living life is meant to be fun and adventurous. And the more we get out of and stay out of our comfort zones, the more fun and adventurous it is. And that life and business can add to that fun and that adventure if we allow it. Or it can add to our stress if we allow it. And it all depends on our perspective and our addiction to comfort. My big aha moment in this post was, what parts of the journey am I missing out on of the full experience because of my own perceptions and addictions to comfort? And honestly, I'm currently exploring these with my coaches. So our new part of our show is the Aaron Zambrano iFit Minute, where Aaron's going to kind of give a spin on this that's a little bit different than what Brian and I have been doing. So, Aaron, why don't you give us your Aaron Zambrano Minute?
Well, after reading this article, it reminded me a lot of a story that I had with a client of mine. And this particular client, she came into me, and she had, well, as a matter of fact, she's been following me for about 10 years. She's known me for a long time, and she just followed my entire fitness journey, and never wanted to do any kind of programming with me at all, just because she felt comfortable where she was. She exercises 5 times a day. She is a leader in her classes. She's like one of the best people in the classes that she takes, and she never wanted to do it. And then one day she decided to jump into my iFit Model 6-week transformation program. And she started doing it, and she had to let go of everything that she ever knew about exercise, and she had to relearn everything. So she was jumping out of her comfort zone. And a short 6 weeks later, she didn't do any classes. She only did my classes my program. And what ended up happening was it transformed the way she thought about exercise. She went back and did her classes again, and she realized that she was far beyond better than anybody else in that class, and she was in much better shape, and she was just in much better improvement. And so the what I got from it is she got out of her comfort zone, and she had no idea how her exercise perception was going to change just by trying something new, and that's really what it reminded me a lot of is how just to get out of your comfort zone with the exercise portion of it and just try something new, and you never know how your life is going to change from that.
I love it. Brian,
Awesome.
I was reading the notes, and you got 3 key points that are just blowing me away. So let's head into the Brian Kaiser 3 keys to the blog, and let's chunk this thing out that way.
Okay. All right. Well, like you said, Chuck took us on a journey. I mean, the first story was like, oh, dude. And then you read the second story, and it was like, really? Seriously? Like, you didn't sleep more than for like, what was it, like 72 hours? He slept like 6 hours or something, rode in all these dirt bikes through the wilderness in a foreign country where he didn't even speak the language. Craziness. So first of my key points was take risks. Don't be afraid to take risks. I mean, you want to have calculated risk. You don't want to be like, I'm going to jump off a building and see if I can fly or something. But, take risks. Have things in life that you want to do and accomplish. It's okay to go ahead and try them. I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to have to regroup and start again. It's really okay. But, he, in both of his stories, he took risks. He took risks on a person he barely knew to go and set up flights and get a ride to the airport, all this stuff for someone that's just like, oh, there might be an opportunity there. He didn't know, but he was willing to take the risk and go. And then the other one, the other story, he was going to visit a tribal chief that had only been visited by Westerners like, 6 times or something, and it had been years since anyone had ever visited with him. So he's taking a risk. He didn't even know if the guy's going to see him. And he doesn't even know anyone in the country at all. So take risks. The second is, if you read the blog, when you go and read the blog, read it and take away from it hopefully you get the same thing I did is, in my second key, keep an adventurous mindset. Now, what is an adventurous mindset? An adventurous mindset is one that isn't satisfied. You're not satisfied with the status quo. You're always looking for something new to be adventurous with that fits in your message and in your line of work. You don't want to get outside your niche, but you do want to keep growing and mastering. And like our good friend James Arthur Ray always tells us, you got to stay there and work at it, and it's going to take years and years, but you have to have an adventurous mindset to keep new, fresh things coming into your world and into your niche there, so that you can grow your customers, you can grow yourself, and you can enjoy and have fun. I mean, the biggest point of this whole blog is Chuck Blakeman had a blast. I mean, he was having a blast. So the last thing in the 3 keys, the third one is don't live your life through anyone else's eyes but your own. And one of the country western artists I like to listen to, Jerry Jeff Walker, has a song where that's how he starts off the song, never live life through other people's eyes. And what I kind of got from that is people are going to look at you and think, man, you're crazy. Why would you go and do that? Why would you go and put everything to go meet somebody in a country where you don't even know anybody? Well, it's part of your journey. It's part of your adventure in life. Like Mike said, this aha moment. Go out and be adventurous. Don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to move forward. Don't be afraid to do things that seem crazy to anyone else, but to you it's like, you know what, this will be fun. I bet I'll get this, and this out of it, and I do have the time. It does fit what I do. It's not going to go against my message. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to learn and see what I can bring back and see what I can add value to the people I go meet as well as the people that I have in my sphere of influence. So don't live life through other people's eyes. Live it through your own. Live it through your own eyes. Make sure that you're following your dream, your passion, and always make it fun and adventurous. Like I said, don't be afraid to take risks. Keep an adventure mindset, and don't live life through other people's eyes.
Awesome. When I think about Aaron's story and then your 3 key points, I look at it and I go, because in Aaron's story, this lady wasn't getting results, but when she changed her mindset, he didn't say she changed her skill set. She changed her mindset. Mm-hmm. And she got the results that she wanted. The skill set was already there, right? So when I think about that with what you're talking about, we all have a skill set, but we also have a threshold for risk, a threshold for adventure that we've created for ourselves. And when you think about Aaron's story and your 3 key points, they really tie together well, and that was unintentional, but they do, because yours show the threshold for the mindset, and his shows what can happen if we can change that threshold.
Right, definitely.
I really like that. So that's really cool. So let's move into application, because I think that when we think about living adventurous, when we think about taking risks, when we think about getting out and staying out of our comfort zone, it's easier to think about than it is to do. So let's talk about application a little bit. This is the Mike Calderwood Coaching Advantage application. So in my summary, I said I would have an internal emotional response. And you do in life every time an event or a perceived inconvenience occurs. Right? It just happens. We have something that happens that was unexpected, didn't go the way we planned, so we have an internal emotional response. So here's my application. I need to raise my level of awareness so that when a perceived situation, or when I perceive a situation a certain way that has an internal response that's not serving me well. That's the key. It's okay to have the response. We all have emotional responses. But what we do with that emotional response, if it's not serving us well, I need to explore my thoughts, my feelings, and my beliefs so that I can shift that and get back to the results that I'm looking for. Aaron, in the fitness world, I can imagine you get a lot of excuses from people, excuse after excuse. It might be internal excuses, like I just can't do it, I'm afraid, I don't have that much willpower. It could be external excuses, like, well, I was raised a certain way, or what have you. But I know there's a lot of excuses that come up, and it's from certain programs, it's from certain fears. How does a higher level of self-awareness play a role in shifting your clients' mindsets?
I think it all comes down to one quote for me, and it's the quote of "I know that I don't know." I believe that was Socrates that said that, and that's one of the things that I always try to get across to my clients is if you just know that you don't know, and if you're not getting the results that you want, then something's wrong with the formula, and you have to go back and look at that formula and take a more in-depth look of what is really going on there. And that's the biggest thing. I have people who have said they have tried everything under the sun. They have done everything under the sun, and nothing works for them. But if it's not working, then your formula is wrong. It's really that simple. And so once I can convince somebody's mind to say, you know what, I do have a problem, then at that point I'm able to give them the education that they need in order to really change their mindset, but also start to apply these things that I'm giving them.
So when they say, I have a problem, they take ownership. And that's where self-awareness comes in, is taking
Exactly.
ownership of yourself. I love it. So that was my first. My first application point was to raise my own level of awareness. My second is raise my level of self-management skills so that I can reframe my thoughts, feelings, and beliefs to better serve my journey. And for me, if anybody knows me, if you listen to those songs that I put out pre-show, things like that, I just like to have fun. I'm just like fun guy, right? So if I'm not having fun in something, I got to figure out where my thoughts, feelings, and actions are not serving me and reframe
Absolutely.
it, right? So I go from raise my level of self-awareness. Once I do that, I can raise my level of self-management and start to manage my emotions and those different things and reframe it. And then the third thing, and guys, I know you hear this a lot on the show, and it's not an attempt to just say, call Brian or I because we can coach people. That's not what this is about. If you're working with a coach, if you've got a coach in your networking group, reach out to them. We don't care. We just want you to succeed. Okay? But the third thing is to work with a coach to help you step back, reframe, and move forward when you're stuck in a certain perception or a certain comfort zone. I know for me that coaches, before I was a coach, before I went through certification, it was coaches that had the skill set to help me look internally and do those first two steps, raise my self-awareness and apply self-management. A coach has a given skill set that, again, can help you step back, reframe, and move forward. Brian, in your years of coaching, what have you found to be a key to help people reframe their thinking to get them out of their comfort zone and change their limiting beliefs and perceptions?
You know, that's a great question, Mike. The best thing, and we've talked about it actually a couple of times through blogs that we've broken down. First is have people step back and review the game films, review what they've done thus far, and as they review those, point out to them the markers, the benchmarks, the rocks, if you will, that they have already met and achieved, and then ask them, where did you want to go? And we're almost there, or we've got this much to go to get there, and start having them see that they are accomplishing. Because as you and I know, when you're working, it could be working on your business, it could be working on relationships, it could be working on your health. When you're in the grind and you're working at that, then you're kind of got the blinders on. You can only see what's here. And you need that coach that can open it up and let you see what else is out there. And if you don't go back and review, where you came from and what got you to where you are, then it's hard to keep your eye on the goal, because if something doesn't work and you do have a setback, then it's in your mind, it's a big thing. When in reality, it may just be a little thing. Like Aaron said, you just need to tweak something. The formula wasn't right. You got to just add a little something, take something away. You got to make a small change. But you won't know that unless you review what got you to where you are, and then are you still on track to get to that goal, and what is it going to take? You have to have some affirmations of this is what it takes to get to where we're going. And it's my belief, as being an athlete and being a coach and now coaching people in the business world, that you're going to have a coach. You're going to have someone to guide you, someone that's outside the situation, that's not in the daily grind, someone that can look at you and where you are, who you are, and where you want to go, and then keep you on track and give you those affirmations so you can actually keep going and get where you want to go.
I love it. I can impact the world. I can impact the government. I can impact our nation. I can impact our community. I can impact my family. But I can't change any of those. I need to work on changing me. We all want more joy. We all want more happiness, and it starts with you. If we work on the people around us and the situations that are happening to us, that's not going to bring joy. It starts with me. It starts with right here in this seat in front of this microphone, with me taking responsibility, taking ownership, and enjoying the journey intentionally. Things are going to happen. How they affect you is up to you. Great BAM today, guys. Get out, stay out of your
Cool.
comfort zone. Well, guys, what did I learn today? Aaron, what did I learn from Chuck's blog?
I think you just keep it simple, stupid, right? That's that's what it's all about. Just
I love it.
look more at the opportunity versus what you have to do to make that happen. Sometimes you just got to say okay and not think about it. Sometimes you'll think about it and talk yourself out of it. So look at the opportunity, don't overthink it, and keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Look at the opportunity. I love it. Brian, what did I learn today?
Mike, you learned don't live your life or your journey through other people's eyes. Live it through your own. Enjoy the journey. Like you said, it's part of the journey brings the joy, the happiness, and all of that stuff that comes with it. You have to be able to, enjoy your path that you're taking, and keep an adventurous mindset and be willing to take some risks. Get out of the zone of I'm satisfied and get into the zone of let's see what can happen next.
I love it. For the listeners, this has been another BAM Slam Home Run Breakdown, where I, Mike Calderon, along with co-hosts Brian Kaiser and Aaron Zambrano, break down expert business blogs so that you can better understand and apply the information to your business and your life for real results. Look forward to new episodes each and every Thursday at 11:30 a.m. CST when we broadcast via video the BAM blog breakdown. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Guys, get over, help us grow, share the love, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember, all the links for today's show will be listed under the video. If you like what you've heard, you feel like you need further information to take advantage of what Chuck's trying to teach us today, simply reach out to Brian, Aaron, or I, and we'll make a professional, personal introduction for you so you can tap into Chuck's knowledge and Chuck's resources. In addition, if you're searching for a coach, need professional work, video work done, if you're having any significant marketing or message issues, or if you have any issues in the area of health and wellness, Brian, Aaron, and I are here to serve, and we leave this BAM Slam asking you, how can we help you reach your goals? How can we help you enjoy your journey? See you next time. We're out.
We're out.